and welcome back to Adventure Keeps Calling My Name. Matt and Jamie here, and we are going to continue our series on traveling for free.
Free travel,
Yeah, so everyone likes it. So, I've listed out some credit cards here that I'd suggest you get acquainted with, and all of these cards have the stipulation that once you've gotten the card, you need to spend $3,000 to $4,000 within the first 3 months to qualify for the bonus. And the bonus is what you're really looking for in these credit cards. They all give rewards for ongoing purchases after the first 3 months, usually 1 point per dollar, something to that effect. That's going to take you a long time to build up any points of substantial nature to be able to use on travel. So you want to look for the bonuses. And the bonuses will fluctuate throughout the year. Sometimes they'll be 50, 60, 70, even 80,000 points bonus offer, and that might be good for a month or something, and then it will drop back down to maybe the 40 or maybe $50,000 range. So you want to just keep your eye out. You'll get these offers through Facebook, you'll get them through your email, you can even go directly to the credit card company's website, and they will have them listed there as far as what the promotion is going on right now, if any.
And you also get them at the airport. Like our first Southwest card, we were flying probably to Orlando, I don't know for certain, but and in the airport they have people standing there, and they talk to you, and we got our first Southwest card with, I don't remember, 60,000 points, I don't remember, but it was right there. Spirit Airline, if you apply on the plane, you get an extra bonus.
Right, so let's talk about the flights or the airline cards, because those are probably the most expensive way to travel is through the air, for the most part. So as Jamie mentioned, you have Spirit Airline, which if you happen to take a Spirit flight and you apply for the credit card, they hand out those applications all through the seats. If you apply on the airplane when you're flying, I believe you get 35,000 points.
Yeah.
And if you don't apply while you're on the plane, but apply when you're home or not on the plane, it's 25,000. So that's a good way to get an additional 10,000 points. The other thing with Spirit is they have a 2,500 Saver Club, they call it, and they'll offer flights periodically throughout the month on certain days to certain destinations for 2,500 points. And that's a one-way ticket. And then you buy your ticket coming back with additional points. But that's a great way to maybe target something you're going to do in 2-3 months. Hey, maybe you'll fly on that day that has the 2,500, and that's right on the Spirit website. So the 2,500 point
offer. Like we can fly from Pittsburgh to Orlando on certain days for 2,500 points each way. So it's a 5,000 point round trip. So if you're getting 35,000 points through Spirit, that's 7 round trips.
Right, and so that would definitely take care of you. Now, what you want to remember is I get the Spirit card. We use that. Jamie gets the Spirit card. All of a sudden, we don't have just 7 round trip flights. We've got 14 round trip flights, and that might last us a year. Maybe that would take care of all of our flights for a year, maybe even a little bit more than that, to get all 5 of us where we want to go.
Right. Flexibility is the key in that situation.
Right.
And Spirit is a no frills flight, no frills airline, basic. I don't know what the exact term is, but you pay for everything. You pay for a can of soda, you pay for your luggage, you pay for everything.
Right. But when we're going to Orlando, it's only an hour and a half, 2-hour flight. It's not that big a deal.
Right. So you get something.
And you do get to take your carry-on, right?
Your personal item is free.
Okay.
As long as it will fit under the seat in front of you. Now we went down in May, you and myself and Belle, and we each took a backpack, and we made that do.
Right. We were only there 3 or 4 days, so that was plenty of.
3 backpacks with packing cubes, that was enough.
Right. And Spirit also runs a thing where they have a lucky seat on each flight.
Yeah.
And our daughter Belle happened to be sitting in the lucky seat flight where they give you an extra 5,000 points just for sitting in that seat.
It's always in the center seat, the middle seat in a row of 3.
And we just went in and sat down, pulled down the tray, and there it was.
It was an assigned seat. Spirit assigned us that seat. We didn't choose it. We didn't just look into it. They assigned it to us.
And so they give you a certificate, and you go home, you apply it towards your account, and it increases your point balance by 5,000.
Which is now, that's another round trip too.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's just something Spirit offers too.
Yeah.
Another good airline to get is Southwest.
That's the best.
Really where we cut our teeth on getting credit cards and using the points. Southwest has a couple different versions of their credit card. They have Southwest Plus, and I can't recall the other ones, but they have also business cards, which you can also double up. So if you own a business, you can have the personal version of the card as well as the business version of the card. And all those bonuses count on both cards. And again, you double up with your spouse. You can get a lot of points. So the highest I think I've ever seen Southwest promotional bonus was 70,000. Now for us to fly to Orlando, it's usually between 8 to 12,000 points one way.
Yeah, and Southwest is an exceptional airline because they open all their flights to their points. Spirit, some of the other ones, they limit the flights. But Southwest is any flight that they fly. It may cost more, it may cost less points, but if you're willing to use your points to do a straight through flight wherever, you can. Or if you want to do a cheaper flight by flying earlier, flying later, you can. They open it all up, and it's at your discretion how you want to spend your points.
You also can rebook your flight too if it goes down. If the fare goes down.
Or if you just change your mind about where you're going or when you're going.
And they don't charge you.
There's no change fee.
That. But we've rebooked the same exact flight and saved 1,000 points here and there per ticket, and so I mean they're real flexible.
Right, and so as a result, we're pretty loyal to Southwest if we can. Two suitcases free, plus your carry-on, plus your personal item. I mean, come on, that's unheard of now. So we're really happy with Southwest. It's open seating, so get on there 24 hours early to check in so that you get earlier boarding. But Southwest, as far as I'm concerned, I have no complaints about that.
Yeah, so that's a good one. There is also a city card which is branded American Airlines, which we've used before also. It's not quite as valuable. You don't get quite as many flights for the points as what you do on Southwest or even Spirit, but American Airlines City Card is also one that I'd say, hey, check that into after you burn through the first two options, and that's good. So
honestly, we don't use our American Airlines points usually for airfare. We use them for different things.
That's true. With American Airlines points, you can actually use them for car rentals or hotel stays, which we usually don't use it for hotel stays because we've already had that covered. But they do honor the car rental, and we've used that a lot of times. You can get some really good deals at low point values. The
one time, 2 times, we have used the American Airlines card for a hotel stay was both on property at Disney.
Yeah.
We stayed at Pop Century.
Yes.
With American Airlines points.
Yeah.
And we gave our son stay at All Star Sports, was it, for his honeymoon. We gave him like 3 nights there.
Right.
So you work it.
Yeah, that's the city card, and Disney doesn't do that very often with many points at all.
That's the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I was surprised to find it.
They do Swan and Dolphin, which are not Disney properties. I think they're owned by somebody else.
Yeah, they're.
But they're just adjacent to the parks, and they're right there.
They're Marriott now. What are they? What's Bonvoy?
Yeah.
Marriott merged with Sheraton. I don't know exactly, but
yeah.
So they're.
But they honor them at Swan and Dolphin. But anyhow, so those are the flights. Cards that are really good for flights. There are some cards that will be for any travel, and so you can get flights, hotels, or car rentals, or even cruises, and they'll compensate you. The first one's Capital One. Capital One will give you, generally 50,000 points, and that's worth $500 of travel, and they'll give you a statement credit. So you charge it on your card, and then you have your points, and you can apply it against your charge on your statement. So it's a way you get $500 of travel, no matter what kind of travel, on any carrier that you want, and they'll honor that. The other one is Barclays. They will also do any travel. They'll offset with a statement credit. They are not quite as good of value, in my opinion, as some of these other cards, but it's free, and it's free money, and it's really flexible to use. Let's move on to hotel cards then. Hotel cards. We've used IHG, which is Holiday Inn. We've used Hilton. We've used Marriott, and we've used Hyatt All those cards have branding with, I believe, Chase. So IHG, Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt. Hilton is probably the most generous on their points. They have a Hilton Surplus card, which gives you 180,000 points. 180,000 points for their bonus, and that's probably good for probably at least 7 night stay at most places. About 25,000 per stay at places. So the Hilton's a very good card to have if you're looking for hotel stays. The second card I'd
Wait, before Hilton though, keep in mind you're not going to find Hilton along the interstate.
That's true.
Hilton is going to be a city, a bigger city,
Yeah.
town, card. So even though it's a really generous program, we've had a harder time using Hilton
That's true.
because we're not big city people, but we have used them.
Yeah, we use them down in Orlando. There's
Yeah.
several down there.
Yeah.
And we have used them in Philly, I believe.
Philly, Louisville. Do we use it in Louisville?
Yeah, I believe so. But Orlando's usually where we use those points. IHG is very good. They'll give you usually 70, 80, and that's usually good for 4 to 5 nights on the bonus. And IHG Holiday Inn, they are pretty much
They're
everywhere.
They
And
really
so
are.
you can get the Holiday Inn Express, and a lot of times they'll include your breakfast with you, as well as the Hilton. A lot of the Hilton locations will have breakfast included also. So those are 2 very good ones. Marriott, which I like their hotels best.
Oh yeah, I like
their
good Marriott. Nicest hotel we ever stayed at was the Marriott in Guangzhou.
Yeah, that's right. When we went to adopt
Belle.
our second adopted daughter, we'd gotten enough points, and at the time Marriott was running a challenge promotion where they would give you senior status. I forget what the term they use, platinum status or something, but it would let you get into the concierge level to have breakfast or to have
Drinks in the
drinks
evening,
and
appetizers.
hors d'oeuvres, that type of thing. And so we were able to, when we went to Guangzhou, keep in mind, most of these programs are
international.
worldwide. So if you go to Spain or France or England or any place, you can utilize these. And we did use them, I remember now, over
In Barcelona.
In Barcelona.
It was called the AC Hotel.
Yeah, it's a Marriott property.
And Marriott was nice in that I was able to put all of my points into his account. Our son Donovan had points. He put into our account. And maybe Matt? I don't remember, but we were able to merge all these points for no charge, which is unusual. Normally you get charged to move your points over, but we were able to accumulate all these points for us. Is it 4 nights, 7 nights in Barcelona at a swanky European hotel?
It was a high point hotel, but we had enough, so it was really nice. So
Get Creative is the name of that tune. Get Creative.
So Marriott's good, and then the last one that we've used on a regular basis is Hyatt. We use that usually down at the Pittsburgh airport. It's right there adjacent to the airport, and it's easy to sleep there and then get up
and walk
over
to your
get in the gate.
Yeah. Also, Hyatts are at most big airports. We have stayed at the Hyatt in Orlando at least once, maybe twice. So those are great hotels at airports, especially if it's free.
Yeah.
Especially if it's free.
So those are good hotel ones, and check again as far as the promotion, and they'll be running them all the time. They'll run them at least 50,000 point promotion, but sometimes it will be a little bit higher a couple times during the year. So you want to get in on the higher point valued ones, of course. And of course, double up with your spouse. You get it, and then once you satisfy the requirements, get your spouse in on it too.
Also, with all of these, you get anniversary nights, because I think all of these carry an annual premium, annual fee.
Each one of these will waive the fee for the first year, which range anywhere from $49 for the IHG up to $99 for some of the other higher end ones. So the hotel ones, I try to evaluate whether it's worth getting the annual night based on the annual fee that you have to pay. Most of the time it is.
Right. So $49 for a Holiday Inn, that's worthwhile. $99 for the Hyatt. What do we figure? The Pittsburgh airport's at least $150, if not $199, depending on the night of the week, stuff like that. So if you're paying $99 for a $199 hotel room, you're still $100 ahead.
Yeah, and so it makes sense to do that. So those are the hotel ones. And these other ones that I've talked about, Capital One, Barclays, the Citi card, they will all waive the fee for the first year. And so you can go ahead and use the points, the bonus, and then when your anniversary comes up and they bill you, you can make the decision whether you want to keep the card or not. Hopefully you've used all your points up, and so you don't really have any reason to keep the card. You don't want to churn too many cards because it can affect your credit score, but if you deem that you don't want to pay the annual fee, then you just cancel the card and go about your business. The last card I want to talk about is the Chase Sapphire card. That is probably one of the better cards out there. They give you 500 to 600 points, which is usually worth, in a statement credit, $500 or $600, but they also have an app on their website that they'll let you book travel, flights, hotels, cars, and it's always at a reduced cost. So something that might be a $200 car rental, you can get usually like for 14,000 points, which would be like $140, the conversion. So that Chase Sapphire, if you're just starting out, you're not even sure what you're going to do with these points, get the Chase Sapphire, because that is the most flexible and the best value, in my opinion, card that's going out there. And again, they'll waive the fee for the first year, and then the second year you can decide whether you want to keep it based on the annual fee and how much success you've had using the bonus points. But hopefully you've used all your bonus points the first year, and then you can just evaluate it based on whether you want to keep the card or not. So those are just some tips, some ideas. Certainly comment. I mean, I may have missed something, may have missed a couple of points
If
here
you
and
have
there.
a question, ask the question below. We will answer it, I promise. And I want to address this idea. We have friends that just don't believe in credit cards. They think that credit cards are the path to ruin. But they have debit cards. With a credit card, if you use it at a gas station and it gets, what's the word? Compromised. You know, you're not responsible for it.
Right.
If it's your debit card that gets compromised, you have a certain responsibility.
Right. It can be harder to get the bank to credit you back your money.
Yeah, so...
And then believe me, I've had my credit cards compromised.
Oh, yes, so have I. Yeah.
So it's probably going to happen. So you don't want to get too excited or too bent out of shape. You just need to call the company. And that's why I look at our credit cards a couple times a month just to look at the charges. And a lot of times I'll call Jamie and say, hey, is this a charge that you recognize?
I love those phone calls.
And she'll say, yeah, that is one. And I say, okay, well then we'll go ahead and we'll leave it on there. But if it's something you don't recognize, you call your credit card company, explain to them what's happened. And
ask, because sometimes it's a company you're like, oh, yeah, I did order one of those.
That's true.
I didn't realize that was the name of the company that I was ordering from.
Right, when we're all ordering online so much.
Also, always have a credit card that is your go-to card, because we don't always have credit cards going that we're getting points on,
right,
or bonuses on. So I have a Disney Visa that I have had for years that it's not the greatest reward, but I know I'm going to use Disney dollars. It's like 1 or 2 Disney dollars per $100 spent.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have that going. So if I don't have a credit card I'm working on for bonus points, that's my go-to credit card. And the next Disney cruise we have coming up, I think I've got like $70. Mm-hmm. So that's just free money that I was going to spend that money anyways.
Yep.
So it's not the best reward, but it's something.
Yeah. So there are also, Jamie just brought up a good point. There are also ways to buy gift cards for different destinations.
This is where it gets confusing.
Which that might be another video.
I think it is because it gets confusing. That'll be the next video, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. And go ahead, if you have a question that we haven't covered, maybe we didn't think about, ask that question below. We'll be happy to answer it. I will promise you here and now that he will answer your questions, because they pop up on my phone and I will nag him till he answers them. Okay?
Yeah.
So, until next time, remember, adventure's out there, and if it can be a free adventure, that's even better. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell button down below and give us thumbs up.